earth and the space in between. Heaven and earth and the space in between, happy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. How many of you are still grieving over something that you have lost?
Recording in
Long time
progress.
How many of you are suffering from the pain of separation of something recent or long time ago? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and most welcome guest. Today I'd like to bring an awareness of what grieving means. What is grief? I just noticed a beautiful moon there. I was shocked there. Oh my God. And what it means to understand and let go of grieving, basically release. We have, I deal with a lot of people. Somebody came in just recently, and as we were doing the treatment and stuff, I noticed she wants to talk, and she said a few things and then started crying. And I invite her to talk and see what's going on. And she said that two friends, like a couple, family friends, they split with absolutely no reason, and nobody knew something's happening. One of them just said, I'm going to end this relationship after 20 or some 25 years. And these people were so good together, and everybody was talking about how these people are good together and how important was their love and everything. She was devastated, as if she lost something. It had nothing to do with her, it was some other family. But she was grieving, and she actually said, I feel like I lost something. She used the word lost, very important. And she crying over that. She said even sometime at night she'd think about them and she started crying. Today, when I was coming here, I was listening to CBC, they were talking about starfish, which they mistakenly call them starfish because they are actually sea star. They're not fish. They're dying massively. Something happened in the ocean. I mean, lots of stuff are happening to our ocean, and that causes a species to be distinct or extinct, and dying. As she was talking, the researcher was talking about that, I was imagining that the ocean without starfish or star sea, and that feeling of loss, losing something so important. And she explained actually this species is extremely important to the ecosystem of the ocean, and that causes a huge collapse of all kind of things, and all the other predators will come in and destroy the coral reef, which is the biggest source of oxygen making on Earth. And honestly, I feel like I'm losing something, or I've lost something. That instant grief came to me, and this was my feeling. The collapse of lungs. I felt like my lungs are being pushed together, going down. In traditional medicine and Chinese medicine, we know that grief sits in the lung. It's a metal element. And what it causes you not to breathe deeply. You're breathing only shallow breathing from the upper body. And then less oxygen to the body, and weakness of the immune system, weakness of the chi, which is the vital energy of the body, a big effect on the mental health, a big effect on the emotional health, and causing all kind of problems with grief. One of the biggest pathogens beside the anger. Grief is almost like a hidden thing. So talk about it, you might even cry, but unless you know how to embrace it and release it, it will stay with you. The other day I had a lady, well, I think she was 60, and through the consultation, when we do the test, it shows stagnation in long chi, whatever, and I said, well, there's a long chi stagnation. There must be some sadness, some sorrow, and she started crying. I said, yeah, I lost my mom. You know, we talked about it. And then later on, when she was getting treatment, something came up, and she said she lost her mom when she was 6. We're talking about 50 years ago, more than 50 years ago. But when she told me that, I thought it was just a couple months ago. The way she was crying, and we hold the grief, and we don't get to learn how to release it, and that causes a lot of problem. I have many stories. I have stories of a gentleman who had, in childhood, had a pet, believe it or not, and still was grieving over the loss of pet, which was 30, 40 years ago. Now imagine you carrying such a negative energy, or we call it stagnation of energy, for many years. The effect on your creativity, the effect on your mind, the effect on your dreams. People come in and say, oh, this recurring sad dreams, which when I get up in the morning I feel lousy, and I feel, I can't get out of the bed because of those dreams. And don't know what to do with them. You might even have griefs over loss of a wallet, a loss of a simple thing, a phone. I lost a phone in Malaysia a long time ago. It was actually a worthless phone. It was broken and it was old. And but I had a lot of pictures in there. The phone wasn't important. Pictures. But anytime I think about it, I mean, the occasion was memorable. It was in a bus, and there's something related to it. And I grieve over that, but even like 5, 6 years ago, and it was nothing. So, oh, I know those pictures. It's a simple thing, but you're holding on to the pain of a loss, losing something. I have different methods or techniques of releasing the grief, but just embracing the grief. It would, we all have actually, we have lots of unprocessed grief to share and to release. All of us has, mostly from the community, being a lost community, well, not just immigrant. We lost our land, or lost feeling of that I have lost my roots. And the other one, the most important one, is the loss of environment. We all see that there are things are happening in our environment. Things are we losing, same as the news today. But you know, when you're looking at a big map of, say, Amazon, now you see a huge patch of land and forest is gone. You might not even think about it, but you have a better feeling of grief that's happening. What's happening to our land? What's happening to the earth? When you hear this news about the ocean, what's happening? That's it. Brings us an unconscious grief, whether we process it or not. Conscious grieving opens a space to unprecedented joy and passion that results from embracing our sorrow. So unconsciously, we embrace the sorrow, we turn it to a gratitude, and then it turns to joy. If you understand the beauty of, for example, something that you lost, the importance of something that you lost, then you automatically get into the stage of gratitude. Stage of gratitude opens the door to joy instantly. So just now, imagine something that you have lost. Could be a dear one, could be a grandmother, a member of family, and consciously think about and notice and appreciate something about them, even if they're not here. Noticing and appreciating something about them. A good memory, for example. And notice how immediately you come to stage of joy. Instantly. So the gratitude carries you over to joy. This is a very interesting process which I like to have one session for it, to practice it all together. It's quite interesting. And that allows you to move in from the stage of low energy, collapsed lung, to an open lung and acceptance of love. And encompassing of love of other things. So you bring in love of other things, say nature, other people, other being, structure, arts, everything. You opening yourself to appreciating any elements of other things by allowing yourself to release the sorrow. In every level, in every day, we have something to grieve over, and just noticing it, noticing this is sad, I'm going to release it. That's enough. Our body has a mechanism which you do when you do this movement. It's called body anchoring. So you're releasing something that you're recognizing and releasing. If there's an anger, for example, you're angry at this person, you say, I notice and release this anger. Or I notice and release this sadness. This simple practice will bring you a level of comfort, peace, and joy. I'll leave you with this note, and thank you for listening to this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abby. It's a very
Recording stopped.
interesting topic, and I